Santa Clarita's hometown station, KHTS, 98.1 FM and AM 1220. I am Kyle Jennings. This is the Hometown Morning Show with Tori and Kyle. Make sure you go to hometownstation.com for all the latest and greatest Santa Clarita has to offer. And speaking of the greatest Santa Clarita has to offer, we have a very special guest in studio.
You know him, you love him. Gregg Goodman, Farmers Insurance. How you doing, buddy?
Good morning. Just trying to get a little dry.
Little dry. You've got it going on, man. You've got your leather jacket. You've got a hoodie.
It's cold.
It's cold, and it's also, the rain was blowing. So I had my coat on, which has a hood, had the umbrella, and still, from the knees down, my jeans were just sopped. Just walking across the street here this morning. So it's extremely nasty outside, but you look like you got it going on. Gregg, let's go right into it. How does weather like this affect our insurance, as it relates to, flooding, and where do we go?
I just think, first, I think you have to be defensive out there. I mean, come on, Tori just said there's a ton of accidents out there, benders. We all learned from when we got our first license, be defensive. That's the only way to avoid the car accident. But everybody knows about that. But I think you got to really look at your house, too. You got to take care of your house because these rains and people don't take care of the roofs, or maybe they don't have their drainage system, because all that water can back up to the house. And sometimes it's covered and sometimes it's not. And with these torrential rains, it's a nightmare out there.
We get complacent because 98% of the time, sunny skies, 75 degrees. We kind of don't think about that. I, for example, my windshield wipers, they don't work at all. They're not moving any water whatsoever. I have to have them replaced. But again, that's something you really don't think about until you're right on top of it.
We're all spoiled. We're spoiled in California,
but
trust me.
The sun beats down on them, and it's just rubber, so it gets, dry rotted and all that kind of stuff. What else can happen in this kind of weather that we have to turn to you for?
Like I was just trying to touch on, I think you have to really look at, we all know about car accidents and everyone knows, you got to look at your house. You got to make sure your house, like my house, we have a courtyard and there was no drainage there. We luckily put drainage in there this summer, and now there's no water that can back up in your house. Or if your roof has a leak in it, if you have a leak in your house and there's raining, it's not going to cover. It's not covered. Maintenance issues are not covered for homeowners insurance. So you got to be very careful and take care of your house too.
What is covered in this kind of a rain situation? Is there any kind of freak thing that would happen possibly, and that we can turn to you as far as our homeowners go?
Well, you got to remember, if it's not a maintenance issue, mm-hmm. your homeowners insurance will probably cover everything. Okay, so but it's always a fine line on how that works. So you want the insurance companies want to get your house back to where it was, but you got to still maintain your house. So you got to make sure. And a lot of these landslides, a lot of that stuff is not covered. So you got to really check with your agents, because your earth movement is not covered. So, but if it's caused by rain and most of the time it is covered, but you need to have a review with your insurance agent and make sure everything is covered.
Everything is kind of in a gray area. Is that what you're telling me?
With these types of rains in California, it's always a gray area.
Because
in your policy, it says earth movement is not covered. But with the torrential rains, and I don't know, like the house that got trashed in Encino, I don't know what insurance company they had or whatever it was covered, but you should should review all the insurance with your agent.
And of course, the car insurance, that's just a no-brainer. You have to have car insurance.
Right.
I mean, it's a thing.
You talk about your windshield wipers.
Right.
Okay, if your windshield wipers aren't working and
mm-hmm.
you can't see, that's potential. You're going to hit somebody. It's just...
Right.
And it's been foggy when you go up on top of the hill, on top of Lyons, and Cowgrove. It's foggy up there. I came home last night from the valley, and it was foggy going up through the hill. So.
And foggy, when it's foggy, what kind of lights do you use? Not your high beams.
Just be careful. Just drive slow. And trust me, I'm driving 55 miles an hour, and people drive at 90. So, it's like... They don't get it.
Yeah, you got to slow down. We have just, like Gregg said, we have just so much going on the roads this morning. There's flooding and all kinds of stuff. The other thing we wanted to talk about, unrelated to the weather this morning, life insurance. Talk to me.
I just think that's a transition we can get into for the next time. But a lot of people, we're worrying about our auto insurance and our home insurance. But, a lot of people don't really take life insurance seriously. So I think you should touch your agent. There are plans that are very inexpensive. I think you really need to look at your whole family and look into life insurance. It's very important.
What do you suggest as we wrap up the interview this morning as far as life insurance? I think you're right. I think a lot of people don't take it seriously, and then when the time comes, it's absolutely too late. So it's one of those things you have to be proactive about. What does life insurance cover? Just give me your basic package.
Well, I can't say into a big. There's so many different types of policies. I give you an example. My father died this last year, so luckily they had life insurance. My brother-in-law died 2 years ago. They did have life insurance. So you need that extra money because technically, statistics show it takes 5 to more years to recover from a death of a family member or a spouse.
Financially, huh?
Financially and emotionally. I mean, you got to remember there's the emotional effect. You're just not going to go find someone else to replace, someone you've been married to for 20 years.
So if we can take out the financial recovery period and just focus on our mental health, that would be so ideal, because you really should be in a situation like that. When a family member dies, you need to take care of yourself and your family because then it's turmoil. And if we can just take out that big chunk of financial, not to worry about it,
right?
How great would it be just to focus on emotional?
I got my first life insurance policy at 23 years old. I still have that policy. Once I had my 2 kids, you got to remember, for the first 20 years, what, God forbid, that's your peak earning years. So you should make sure at least you have covered for at least the next 20 years. You got to save for college. You got a spouse. I don't know if your spouse works or not. So I just think you just should review everything with your insurance agent and go through. Preferably, you can call Gregg Goodman at 254-6739, and we can go through all that with you. So,
what's a great for those because our listeners are probably driving around in the car? Give me a website. Do you have a website?
We don't have to. We just go to farmers.com and just type in Gregg Goodman.
Oh,
and then that works easy. Farmers.com.
Piece of cake. Now, Gregg is spelled with 3 G's.
Triple G.
It's a 3G.
Triple G. Yes.
Goodman. Always enlightenment when you come in regarding insurance. I think we all take it for granted. It's one of those things that you do it, the papers go in the drawer, you forget about it.
Right.
But on days like this and in situations where someone passes away and we're not expecting, we need to just be proactive about the whole dang thing. And you're the perfect person to do it. Phone number one more time.
661-254-6739.
Gregg Goodman, Farmers Insurance. Talk to him. Forge a relationship.
We have a lot of relations. We have a lot of clients, and I have my cell phone number for any type of emergencies too. So
there you go.
Always a good thing.
There you go. Plus, he's a cool guy.
Thank you.
You are welcome, Gregg Goodman from Farmers Insurance. 818.